We begin today's World Report broadcast with a story of horror from the heart of Kashmir's breathtaking valleys, which have now been stained with blood. At around 3 p.m. Tuesday, viewers, gunfire shattered the serenity of Baisaran. It's also known as mini Switzerland. It's just 6 kilometers from Pahalgam. At least 26 lives were cut short when terrorists opened fire on unsuspecting tourists. Among the dead, an Indian Navy officer, more government officers and families who had come for peace and not war. Eyewitnesses speak of names being asked before bullets flew. A woman watched her husband die right beside her, viewers. Eyewitnesses also speak of these names. Now, bodies also lay in meadows once known for laughter and pony rides. The Resistance Front, an affiliate of Pakistan-operated terror group Lashkar-e-Taiba, has claimed responsibility. A massive manhunt, meanwhile, is underway. The Indian Army, CRPF and police have been working through the night. Meanwhile, PM Modi cut short his Saudi trip, returning home to lead a high-level security meeting. There will be no one spared, the PM has vowed. In the latest, meanwhile, security agencies have released sketches of 3 terrorists involved in the cowardly attack. As the nation mourns, Jammu and Kashmir has become a site of silent tears and salutes. The pain is fresh, but so is India's resolve. And from this tragedy, a stronger vow rises, one that underlines that Bharat will not bend to terror. My colleague Shivarur joins me for more on this. For all our viewers who are just joining in, we've begun today's World Report broadcast with a story of horror right from the heart of Kashmir's breathtaking valleys, which have now in fact been stained with blood. At around 3 p.m. Tuesday, gunfire shattered the serenity of Baisaran, also known as mini Switzerland. It's just 6 kilometers from Pahalgam. For your perspective, at least 26 lives have been cut short when terrorists opened fire on unsuspecting tourists. Among the dead, an Indian Navy officer and families who had come for peace and not war. Eyewitnesses speak of names being asked before the bullets flew. A woman, in fact, watched her husband die right beside her side. Meanwhile, bodies lay in meadows once known for laughter and pony rides. The Resistance Front, an affiliate of Pakistan-operated terrorist group Lashkar-e-Taiba, has claimed responsibility for the callous attack. Meanwhile, my colleague Shivarur joins us for the latest on the story. Shiv, given the TRF's known links with Lashkar-e-Taiba, what does this signal really about Pakistan-based proxy groups ramping up operations in Kashmir Valley now? And also, I'd like to ask you, how likely is a shift in deployment strategy in South Kashmir?
What I can tell you for sure is that, TRF, the Resistance Force, Tiger Force, etc., these are just shallow names for what is essentially the Lashkar-e-Taiba, which is a Pakistan government-sponsored terror group focused on Kashmir. So let's not give them too much legitimacy by, giving them an identity that is separate from the Lashkar-e-Taiba. This is the LET under Hafiz Mohammad Saeed, the very same group that has been operating, in Uri, in 2611 and beyond. So the fountainhead of terror, as far as India is concerned, is the Lashkar-e-Taiba and the Jaish-e-Mohammed, and the TRF, or whatever else they want to call themselves, is the Lashkar-e-Taiba. That's one aspect of it. The other aspect, as far as deployments are concerned, now remember that the current operational scenario in Jammu and Kashmir is obviously a story in motion. There is a security review that was conducted by Home Minister Amit Shah 2 weeks ago, during a couple of infiltrations that took place, especially in the Jammu division. And now he's done that afresh yesterday with the unified command structure, and he will be doing much more of it ahead of the Cabinet Committee on Security meeting later today. The important aspect to remember is the multi-agency effort in Jammu and Kashmir. There's going to be a huge challenge in it, not just in South Kashmir. Remember, Pahalgam is in Anantnag. It's 3 hours away from Srinagar. Security aspects across the board, not just in terms of deployment, but literally in terms of, shaking things up, finding out where the intelligence gaps really were. The fact that an entire paradigm has broken down now with tourists being fair game for terrorists means that, it's sort of back to square one in many ways. Certain rules of engagement will need to be revisited by the security forces as well. And that is all going to boil down to what kind of blueprint and roadmap the Indian government chooses to finalize during the Cabinet Committee on Security meeting.
Thank you so much for that, Shiv. My colleague Nazir Masoodi, in fact, also joins us from Pahalgam. Nazir, if you can hear me, can you elaborate on how local residents aided in the rescue operations, and moreover, what this says about the relationship between the local populace and both the state and the central governments, Nazir?
Well, if we see there is anger, people are showing that anger by carrying out protests. Here in Pahalgam a while back, there was a protest, people carrying placards and shouting slogans against terrorists, shouting slogans against those behind the massacre of innocent tourists, saying we are Indians and India is ours, showing their resolve that they cannot be cowed down, they cannot be scared by such attacks, and showing sympathy and empathy with the victim families. They say they feel ashamed that it has happened in Pahalgam, a popular tourist destination which has been made unpopular because of this horrific terror attack. Pahalgam is not just a popular tourist destination, it's also a base camp for Amarnath Yatra, and this is Amarnath Yatri's base camp here. Now this being set up because just Yatra is just 2 months away, and this attack makes it much more serious, the situation that is unfolding. Home Minister Amit Shah today visited here. He visited the attack site also and took the stock of the situation so that he can brief Cabinet Committee on Security, which will be chaired by Prime Minister this evening in Delhi. So Government of India has taken the note of this situation at the highest level, and it appears that the response would be holistic, response would be befitting. It would not be just limited to this operation which is being carried out here in Pahalgam to track down the attackers, because more than attackers, it is those who are the handlers, who have allowed them to do this, who have sent them these, not only killed innocent people but also killed the image of Kashmir. And that's why for the first time we saw in last 35 years of militancy this complete shutdown in the valley. Mirwais Umar Farooq has called for the shutdown. Traders' bodies have called the shutdown. Ruling National Conference has called for shutdown. So is PDP and other groups. So this is first time we see all the groups from political divide coming together, sharing their grief, telling the world, telling those who attacked that we cannot be cowed down and we strongly condemn it, and this is not acceptable. So this is first time we see it happening in Kashmir, a complete shutdown, candlelight vigils, protests, people denouncing terror and violence of any form.
Well, Nazir, will indeed not cow down, that's for sure. One quick question to you, Nazir. How significant, there was, I believe, another infiltration attempt in Baramulla. How significant is that attempt in connection with the Pahalgam attack? Especially, and also, could these events very well be part of a coordinated effort to destabilize the bigger region? What are you picking up?
Well, these are two separate incidents. Pahalgam is like 300 kilometers away from the line of control. But having said that, this clearly shows that there are attempts from the other side to push in more militants to keep the pot boiling. Not only this infiltration attempt which army said they have filed, there was also a ceasefire violation in Poonch sector also. Because of this incident, whatever the decision the government will take, what would be the response, because it is much worse than the Pulwama attack, which led to those surgical strikes on Pakistan, these air strikes on Pakistan. This is much worse. And when you see the gravity and the seriousness with which government has taken it, Prime Minister cut short his Saudi Arab visit, came back immediately, in fact even avoided Pakistan's airspace, and first he was briefed at the airport itself by the National Security Advisor and Minister of External Affairs, Minister Mr. Jaishankar, and then this evening there would be he will chair the cabinet committee on security meeting. Home Ministry would brief the meeting about his visit to Srinagar. Yesterday he met the Chief Minister, held meeting with him, Lieutenant Governor and officials. Today he paid homage to the victims of this terror attack and then met the relatives of the deceased. And Government of Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Umar Abdullah has announced an ex gratia of rupees 10 lakh for the relatives or for the next kin of the deceased, and 2 lakh rupees for the injured, and 1 lakh for those who have received minor injuries. While we talk about this Pahalgam, there's a hero of Pahalgam who was killed also yesterday, Sayyid Adil Hussain Shah. He's a Poniwala. When a tourist was killed, he was with him. He resisted terrorists, he fought them, and in the course he was also hit. He was also hit with bullets and he lost his life. In a while, his these funeral prayers will be held.
Thank you so much for getting us the latest from the ground, Nazir.